Please welcome to the show, relevant senior editor covering the intersection of faith and culture, Tyler Huckabee. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, everybody.
Happy Good Friday.
What up?
Thank you. Happy Good Friday.
Do you say that? Do you say and to you as well? Is there a liturgical response to Happy Good Friday?
With your spirit.
I don't even know. And with your spirit also?
I think it's just kind of the whole Easter weekend. Yeah, it's kind of the whole Easter weekend. Happy Holy Week. Happy
Holy Weekend.
I've never heard anybody say that ever.
Well, can't we all say like he is risen, and then you say like
he isn't risen on
Easter,
Good
though.
Friday?
That's Easter.
I was going to say he will rise. He did rise,
and I would. And real talk, like I would feel weird, I think, saying someone a happy Good Friday. You know what I mean? Like this is like the one
feels
day.
Very weird, guys. Yeah, I'm with you.
This is the one day. This is the one day in like like where it should be kind of somber. You know, theoretically, I remember one time I was off on Good Friday. Guys, I'm just being real here, okay? Like, just real talk. This is going to sound irreverent, okay? I was off on Good Friday, but I went to, it was like a chapel service or like a church service thing, Good Friday morning, but I had made plans to play golf, and I never play golf. But some people invited me out. I was like, yeah, sweet. It felt really weird out there just, chopping it up, joking around, being a doofus on the golf course on Good Friday. It just felt inappropriate to me.
Like
so,
the church service.
Yeah, after I went to church, and it was a reflection on the crucifixion, and then I'm out there being the dummy, doing a donut in a golf cart. It just felt inappropriate.
So maybe the greeting is Good Friday. Good Friday, sir.
Good Friday.
Maybe we just do that.
Good Friday. Yeah.
Good Friday.
Well, Good Friday to you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Good Friday to everybody
as well.
What's
going on this week?
Do we need to redo the intro now? I feel like how do we do? I'm worried that my old Bible profs, your old ORU profs are going to be calling you up, being like, "You wish somebody a happy Good Friday." What? I didn't teach you anything.
The Reform profs wouldn't call us because they already knew that we were going to do that, so it didn't.
Well, this actually.
K-Slay.
And he did rise.
I need the machine gun.
All right, what do you have? What do you have, Tyler? Yeah,
it ties into all this. Actually, this is a pretty decent segue. So this was you probably saw this study. This study did get passed. The headline got passed around quite a bit, but there is a little more nuance to the story than made a lot of people's conversation around it. So this new Gallup poll came out. Touted the fact that 47% of Americans as of 2020 are a member of a church, synagogue, or mosque. That's the first time the number has fallen below half since Gallup first started asking this question. As recently as 1999, that percentage stood at 70%. In 1937, when Gallup first started polling Americans about it, it was at 73%. And we'll go on. There is some stuff to unpack there, but does that surprise you? Less than half of Americans say they're a member of a church, synagogue, or mosque for the first time in coming up on 100 years.
I'm not surprised at all.
I have a question, Tyler, about how they categorize membership.
Yeah.
Right, like because if someone asked me, like, "Hey, are you a member of church?" Well, it's like I've been going to the same church for a while, like, but I don't even know if my church has membership. Like, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking that a little. Like, yeah, I regularly attend the same church, but I didn't go. I didn't fill out any paperwork that said, "Hey, I'm a member here."
You're getting close to at least part of some of the nuance of this, Jesse, and you're skipping ahead a little bit. But that is correct. That is at least part of. There's a few factors at play here. Because the easy takeaway from this is like, well, people are just less religious, the secularization of America. And that is part of it, but it's really not the whole story because church membership, like you said, is just not quite as big of a deal as it used to be. The idea of having a member of a church, especially among the rise of non-denominational churches, where membership is the number of people who say they attend a non-denominational church has tripled in the last 20 years. And those churches generally, they don't really do membership classes. You don't sign a state the way a lot of our parents did. You just start going a bunch and you say like, okay, I guess I go to this church, but you wouldn't call yourself a member in any official sense.
And even a lot of people who regularly go to church and are passionate about their faith will church hop. They'll go to 2 or 3 churches sometimes.
Facts.
So yeah,
and
interesting. So the term was
know a lot of people
member. It wasn't church attendance. It was. Well, then why even ask that anymore? Like, who cares? Like,
yeah,
they might need to adjust the study.
Yeah, Jamie, I know obviously your family, it works very closely with ministry, and your husband is in ministry. And what is your take on church membership? Because I remember when I was in my early 20s and I was at a church with my parents, and the pastor approached me and after the service and was like trying to tell me how important it was that I do like the formal membership thing. And at the time, it kind of like turned me off a little. I wasn't like offended or anything. I was just like, I don't really know if I like. Yeah. I started to kind of like interrogate that idea of like, do I need to fill out paperwork to be to show I'm a part of the body of Christ, or this location? Like, what is the end game here, Jamie? I feel like you probably have interesting perspective on this from both sides. What's your take on membership?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to fill out any paperwork to be a member of the body of Christ. That's for sure. But, I really believe in the local church, and we're a part of a local church. My husband's a pastor at a church. And so we have what we call partnerships. And so you really do, like you say, I want to be a partner with this church, which means I just want to partner with what you're doing to bring the gospel to the city of Austin. And so I am a partner at my church. I don't remember how I became a partner. Honestly, that sounds really bad as the pastor's wife. But, maybe I just get a pass. I don't know. But that's what we do at our church.
You're the pastor's wife.
What's that?
Yeah. I think you're right.
I think you're kind of like grandfathered in a little bit. I'm not sure.
I don't know about paper. I don't know what, but I just know that at our church, it actually is important that you say, like, not that we don't like check your partner card at the door. Like, no, anyone can come to church, but you're like, hey, I'm devoted to partnering with Austin Stone to see the gospel spread in Austin. That's kind of how it would be for us.
So so the idea of partnership is not necessarily, hey, there's no requirements in a sense. Like there's not a standard you have to hit. Is there a standard?
There's some like, I affirm these beliefs.
Got you.
I affirm these beliefs. What's that?
Okay. Yeah, it's just like, hey, I lock arms with you. We kind of have the same perspective on theologically how we look at the scriptures and how we deem we should deal in the community.
Yeah.
So therefore, I want to partner with your work.
Yeah. And I think that's important as well. I mean, I don't think it's like bad. I just think it's important to say, hey, here we are. We're two like-minded people. I mean, I'm going to be like-minded with this church. And it's not, like I said, it's not these small, like second, third tier issues, because I'm done with people arguing about those. It's the big things that would say, I agree with this theological statement. I'm going to lock arms with this church.
You just hear those horror stories. Like I saw this thing being passed around of people that was like, yo, you're a member of this church and you haven't paid tithes in like a year or two, we're revoking your membership or something crazy like that.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I saw it. I don't know where I saw that, but
that's crazy.
I was like, well, that's different. Or I've heard people, I've heard people say that like if you didn't tithe or whatever to the church, that the pastor wouldn't do your wedding or a funeral of a family member or something, like crazy stuff like that.
That's crazy. I do remember growing up, I went to a really like Southern Baptist church, and someone would come up to join and they'd be like, guys, here is the Minor family. They're coming from our sister church, down the road, and now they want to be a member here. And I always was like, why do they have to come in the front and say they're coming from the sister church? Like, why'd you leave our sister church? What's going on here?
well, even in the scenario of like, hey, you got behind on your tithes, we're going to revoke your membership. I'll be like, well, what does that entail? Well, you got to get back your membership card. Okay, can I still come? Well, yeah, you can still come. I mean, can I still get like prayed for? Well, yeah, but you don't get a membership card. And it's like, okay, I'll try to catch up on tithes when I get. I hope I get that card
back. What are the stakes?
I don't understand like the threat of it being revoked. I can understand the benefits of like going through those motions, but it's not like, if someone was like, hey, you're excommunicated, that'd be one thing. But if someone says, hey, I'm revoking your member, now you have to attend as a non-member. And I'd be like, well, what do non-members? How is the experience any different for the non-members? They're like, well, you no longer are required to go to the member luncheon. It's like, sweet, I should have done this a while ago.
It just feels like the Leave It to Beaver era, where like the community, your stature in the community was like your status at church. Like we're a deacon family, or we're the our family's been a member here for generations, and like that kind of era, which is absolutely not the era anymore. Nobody cares what church you go to, anyway.
There is another part of this, and there are a few parts of it, but another part that's interesting is we've talked a lot about the rise of the nuns, which is this term folks who study religion use to talk about people who don't really have religious beliefs that you can label easily. And this is this is almost 21% of Americans.
Jesse
right now
is laughing because he thought you were talking about the 1960s sitcom The Flying Nun, The Rising Nuns.
No, what I was saying is, how has it gone this long? How can we go this long and not have a better term?
I know.
Because there's already religious figures
nuns.
called nuns, and it's like,
Yeah, that's what I
hey,
thought.
listen, man.
Yeah.
The nuns are on the rise. Not only
I ain't gonna lie. I was confused. I ain't gonna lie.
Spell it.
That's what I thought.
And none zeros.
I thought this was the continuation of what Jesse said about the
it's a
monk
bad term.
on the
I
island.
didn't come up with it.
because
This is a
the way
George Barna
Tyler
thing.
said it, like in theory, it's like, hey, the nuns are on the rise. There's more nuns now than there ever were. I'd be like, oh, that seems pretty cool. That seems pretty cool. But the way Tyler says that, he goes, a lot of people have been concerned about the rise of the. It's like there's a nun uprising. They're
Like Planet of the Apes, and there's a nun uprising.
Yeah, it's just nuns. They're everywhere. They're
They're
nuns
on
are out of control.
the streets. They're coming for us.
I went
Marauding gangs of nuns.
Okay, real quick. I'm sorry. How funny would it be if I were like, if I position myself as an expert on the rise of nuns, and I called up like Gabe Lyons at Q, or I called up the Catalyst folks. I'm like, hey, book me for like a seminar about the rise of nuns, and I just went into like Q conference and did a whole thing about how I thought these numbers were about nuns, and we have to be very concerned about a potential uprising. I'm almost tempted to just do that if I didn't know people there so well.
Yeah. So Rise of the Nuns, Nones.
Sorry, Tyler. We just went on a
good.
tangent.
Oh my God.
It's a bad name. They do need a better name, but Rise of Nuns, Nones.
Hey, speaking of needing a new name, Q Conference might want to
I think Q
rethink their
Conference,
branding.
it's time, guys. If you're listening, Gabe, if you're listening, we love you. This comes from a place of love.
Love what you're doing.
You lost the Q name. It went to somebody else.
So somebody took it.
Well, he's probably like, no, I own this name. This is my name. You
I know.
can't
It's
take
like,
this name
hey,
from me.
I'm going on a trip this weekend. Where are you going? I'm going to the Q Conference. It's very exciting. Or like, the hotel, Ramada welcomes Q. I mean, it's like, no, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to be there.
Not gonna lie, again, I had never heard of the Q Conference. So when y'all said it, I was like,
it's like
You thought it was the other Q.
I'm dead serious.
Have you heard of Catalyst?
I was like, they got a whole conference around this stuff
This is
now.
illustrative of the exact problem.
What if?
This is it.
So
I'm dead serious. So look, Hugo, what's dude's name?
Gabe Lyons.
What's the dude that
Gabe
runs the
Lyons.
conference? Look,
Gabe.
I'm letting you, Gabe. Look, bro, from a guy that's never been to the Q Conference before, and I don't know what y'all white people be doing. You gonna need to change it, buddy. You gonna start getting people picking it
get the
outside
wrong people
the joint, dog.
registering.
I'm trying to tell you, gotta change it,
they're
bro.
just going to get a weird crowd registering. I mean, he's going to sell out every year, but it's not going to be who he wants.
Maybe it's a ministry.
And when the guy, when the QAnon people show up to Gabe Lyons' Q conference, they're going to be thrilled someone's talking about an issue we all need to be aware of, and that is a conspiracy involving an uprising of actual nuns from the convents. They're rising from the convents. Half the audience will be enraptured by this new conspiracy. Half will think I'm talking about. Half will just think I'm talking about people who have lost their religion. Both will be very satisfied by my presentation.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, minds will be blown. Minds will be blown.
One way or another.
One way or the other. Which nun I'm telling them is going to rise up.
And which Q member?
Both.
Oh my God.
Okay, look. It is the only topic that would work at a conference attended by both, progressive, data-driven thought leaders in the Christian world and, QAnon. If they think I'm talking about nuns and nuns at the same time,
the
I can
best.
bring these worlds together. Gabe, you can find me. I'm not that hard
Jesse,
to find.
think about it. Even as you're talking about the typical nun, you could talk about, they wear a lot of black. You know, I mean, like you could describe them in ways that could apply to both.
Here's what we know about the nuns.
Here's what they know. They wear tons of black. They actually like hanging out with people who are dressed just like them.
Yeah.
They're very cliquish. These nuns.
They separate themselves. They separate themselves from mainstream religious community.
Excellent.
They kind of sequester
I can't
themselves.
believe
They've isolated themselves. They've actually isolated themselves, and some of them, I think, are living in condoms, guys. This is getting out of control here.
I can't believe this is free. I can't believe this is free.
Now, here comes the exciting part. What can we do to stop the uprising?
You're the bridge builder, Jesse. You are
This
the
is
bridge
it.
builder.
You found it, Jesse. You found it.
I'm going to need you to hold back. This is where I show how to fight it. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, time for a demonstration. Time for a little demonstration here, okay? I don't usually advocate violence, but the rise is real.
Oh my God.
The nuns are coming. They're here, in matter of
All the
fact.
cute people are like wearing their God and gun shirts. You know, they're ready. They're ready for the battle.
Oh my God,
They're ready for the
they're ready
fight.
to fight.
I mean,
They're ready for the uprising.
Because this is one of the most rational conspiracies they've actually heard. I mean, compared to like lizard people, compared to like shape-shifting lizard people who have secret, underground pedophile rings, a bunch of nuns rising up for reasons that are difficult to discern.
This is it.
Seems more
I could
plausible.
get behind that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm with it.
I mean, I would be more comfortable if people believe that.
So this
frankly.
week's relevant news:
Hey,
the rise
right?
of the nuns.
Gabe, I'm on the way. I'm going to the Q conference just to see what happens, bro.
I think we got the broad strokes of relevant news.
The broad
this week. I
strokes
think you guys got
are all the headlines, and everybody's so
this was very
upset
edifying
that
for
less than
everyone.
half of America is a member of a religious body anymore. Everybody's all upset, but it did not communicate what portion of America would say they attend regularly or believe. So it's just kind of like, who cares about this?
Can we
headline,
just
is what we're
take
saying.
exactly.
for one second? Can we just pause and reflect on the fact that Tyler brought this really, really serious
Hard on
issue
it.
to the forefront,
Hard on
and it turned into karate nuns.
Welcome to the Relevant Podcast.
Hey,
This
if
is
they would've
relevant, guys.
rebranded it,
This
if
is
they
what
would've
relevant is.
rebranded- If they would have rebranded the crisis, they could just say, faithless or whoever.
Instead of
you don't have to say
nuns.
nuns. It's very,
It's very
confusing.
Derek,
nuns
dude,
are on the rise.
You joined the podcast right at a moment where the news cycle got super serious. We had a pandemic, we had racial unrest, and we had the election. So we couldn't joke around. But this is what the Relevant Podcast for 15 years had done. We messed up the news. That's basically what we tried to do. So.
Back in the habit.